The sky above the ruined colony was a pale gray, the kind of color that made everything beneath it feel colder. Buildings were nothing but scorched skeletons. Wind whispered through broken metal and shattered glass. And in the middle of it all, hidden beneath a fallen communication tower, was her, alone, shivering, and trying not to cry. Lyra had nothing left. Her people were gone. Her home, once alive with color and music, was reduced to ash in the wake of the orbital strike. The Alliance had pulled out. No one came back for survivors. Not even a drone. She hadn't eaten in 2 days. Her scales, normally a radiant blue, were dull, lined with soot and fear. Her limbs trembled from exhaustion, but still she didn't move. Noise brought attention, and attention meant death. The raiders still roamed at night. Then she heard it, the unmistakable thrum of a human engine. Her breath caught in her throat. No, it couldn't be. She crawled forward just enough to peek between twisted beams. A lone vehicle, military grade, all-terrain, ugly by her people's standards, rolled across the cracked road. Atop it flew no banner, but emblazoned on the side, unmistakable in its crude, bold strokes, was the insignia of Earth's expeditionary forces. A human. Alone. Madness. She shrank back into the shadows. What if he was scavenging? What if he wasn't here to help? The vehicle stopped. The engine went silent. And then footsteps. She held her breath, every instinct screaming at her to run, hide, vanish. Instead, a low voice called out, calm and deliberate. I saw the heat signature. If you're alive, I'm not here to hurt you. She froze. Human standard, spoken clearly. Not barked like an order. Not shouted like a threat. Just spoken. I've got food. Water. Med supplies. If you need help, come out slowly. Silence. Long enough that he added, or I'll just sit here and wait. Another minute passed before she moved. She crawled out from under the wreckage, slow and hesitant, hands raised. Her legs buckled the moment she stood. The man caught her before she hit the ground. His hands were rough, warm through the gloves. His face was weathered, dark hair streaked with gray at the temples, stubble lining his jaw. He didn't flinch at her alien features. Didn't sneer or stare. You're light as a feather, he muttered. Been here long. Since the bombardment, she rasped. He frowned. That was 8 days ago. She nodded weakly. He didn't ask more. Just lifted her like she weighed nothing and carried her to the vehicle. The inside of the vehicle was cramped, filled with gear, survival packs, and the faint smell of oil. But it was warm. He set her gently into the co-driver's seat and handed her a foil-wrapped ration. She looked at it cautiously. It's just food, he said. Protein heavy. Not poison, promise. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. I'm Sergeant Mason, he said as he adjusted the controls. What should I call you? Lyra, she whispered. He nodded once. All right, Lyra. Let's get you somewhere safer. They drove through the night. She drifted in and out of sleep, jerking awake every time she heard distant echoes of gunfire or raider engines. Each time, Mason said nothing. Just kept driving, eyes sharp, posture steady. She wanted to ask why he was here, why a human soldier would return to a dead world alone, but fear and fatigue held her tongue. The next day, they arrived at a small outpost, human-built, partially buried beneath a hillside, likely abandoned weeks ago. Mason unlocked the door, cleared the rooms, and then helped her inside. It was dusty, but solid. Safe. She stood awkwardly in the center of the common room while Mason unpacked his gear. This isn't much, he said, but it's home for now. She looked around. No one will come for me, she said. Not my people. Not yours. Mason paused. Then he said, simply, then you stay here. With me. Lyra blinked. Why? He shrugged. Because everyone deserves a place to belong. Days turned to weeks. Lyra regained her strength. She learned to cook human rations with him, awkward at first, then better. They talked about planets they'd seen, wars they regretted, music neither could sing in the other's tongue, but still tried. He gave her a small corner of the bunker and called it her room, even though it was really just a storage closet with a mattress. He gave her space when she needed silence. He gave her laughter when the nightmares returned. One night, as a storm raged outside, she sat across from him, nursing a cup of heated broth. She looked up and asked, quietly, "Why didn't you leave after you found me?" He tilted his head. "Didn't want to. But you could have. You weren't assigned here." "That's right," he said. I came back because I saw the scans. There were survivors, maybe. Command said it wasn't worth it. He looked at her. But it was worth it to me. Raiders returned eventually. They tried to storm the outpost. 3 vehicles, armed and loud, confident in their numbers. Lyra had hidden behind the supply crates, heart pounding. Mason had given her one look, calm, quiet, and said, "Don't worry. I got this." He walked out alone, rifle slung low, face unreadable. She watched from the monitors. Watched as he took cover behind a barricade he built days ago. Watched as he picked off raiders with terrifying precision, never panicking, never flinching. Watched as, in under 6 minutes, the field went still again. When he returned, covered in dirt and blood, he looked at her and said, "You okay?" She nodded, too stunned to speak. He smiled. "Told you. Home's safe." It didn't happen all at once, but Lyra realized something over time. She stopped calling it the outpost. She started calling it home. She started referring to supplies as ours. His tools became the ones we use. Her corner room became my space. She found herself decorating, scraps of color, tiny touches of life, and Mason never stopped her. One evening, after a quiet dinner, she sat beside him, looking at the fading stars through the viewport. "You gave me something I thought I'd never have again," she said softly. He didn't ask what. She told him anyway. "A home." He looked over, eyes tired but kind. "No," he said. "We built it together." Peace didn't last forever. But when the next human ship came, part of a search and rescue mission long delayed, they found not a bunker of ruins, but a shelter of warmth. They found a human soldier standing beside an alien woman, side by side, armed and ready, but smiling. "Sergeant Mason, we assumed you were dead." "Not dead," he replied. "Just busy making something worth living for." Lyra stood taller beside him, unafraid of the officers, unafraid of the uncertain future. "She's staying with me," Mason said firmly. No one argued. They didn't understand. Not at first. But later, the officers noted something strange in their logs. The human soldier never called it the outpost again. Only one word: home.